No, no, we're not. It's still crashing. It may be looking good for now on your end, but my end says it is crashing. Exactly like it was doing when I started the last stream. I just rebooted my internet, everything else, but guess what? Windows did an internet upgrade, so what a shocker. Hey, Goatland Station, how are you? Welcome in, Clintonville. I don't know how long we're going to be on, but my internet is acting up big time. It seems to have stabilized for now, but only time will tell. But yeah, Windows didn't. Windows has done so many updates in the last 2-3 weeks. Every other time I turn my computer on, we've updated Windows, we've updated your browser, we've updated your internet, and so even I rebooted our upstairs, our household internet, but yeah, now we're back to crashing again. So yeah, things are not looking good. So I'll just carry on until it completely crashes again. If it crashes again, I'm probably just going to give up. No, I'm on Windows 11, the most recent level of Windows 11. But again, it's, I'm using OBS and I'm doing OBS straight into YouTube browser, but my internet still has to carry the YouTube browser. So I think it's more on my internet carrier, but unfortunately, anytime Windows updates, it affects my internet for a few days. But, so yeah, where was I? Anyhow, I was talking about a video Joyce and I did earlier this week. I put the first half on my channel, the second half on her channel, and I don't want to say nobody watched it, but the vast majority of people. It got the least amount of views on her channel and my channel. And I think a couple of people watched it and just watched the first 5 minutes and said, oh, well, hey, don't worry about those negative comments. And the video wasn't about negative comments, and really we did very little about negative comments, and we were laughing at those comments. It wasn't a rant video. We even tried to put that in description. The big thing of that video was after we've done 50 pun songs, parody songs, we get people joking in a good way. Okay, in a good way, people joking with us about, oh, when you gonna do an album? When you gonna do a greatest hits album? And Joyce and I have been joking about doing this video for a year, but we keep adding songs. And so the video was about two things. Number one, it was about if an album has 12 songs, which of those songs would Joyce and I put on out of the 50 songs? And we immediately eliminated the Christmas songs, which is 6. So out of the 44 remaining songs, which 12, we decided 12 songs on an album. Which 12 would we put on an album? And out of 50 songs, and we kind of went through some of the songs, and before we even filmed, Joyce and I had already talked about what songs were definites. These have to be on the album. And so on this screen, you can kind of see where these are the songs Joyce and I selected that if we were going to, and again, this is not ego. This is you guys make the joke and we're playing with the joke. We're just laughing at ourselves with you. But people always go, oh, this has got to go on your greatest hits album, or this is your best one yet, et cetera, et cetera. And so we started joking a few weeks ago about, gee, what songs would we put on an album? And so this is in the order they were released, but we got down to 12 songs. So numbers 1 through 12, that's the order they've been recorded. These are the 12 songs we would put on a greatest hits So like the Digital Song, which is the second song I ever sang, Stuck at a Train Show with You, the first song Joyce ever sang, Everard Junction, because it's one of the most watched and most liked videos we've ever done. Digital Killed the Analog Guy, our most watched, our most liked video, potentially our most popular. This is one along with Stuck at a Train Show with You that the NMRA used for a meeting. And then one of the ones that sort of made it at the last second was, it was the 12th song chosen, was Happiness is a New Train. And again, in the video, you can see how Joyce and I debate which ones to include and which ones not to include. I still haven't found Trains I'm Looking For. That's one of Joyce's big three, as we call them, although now I think we have to go a big four. Steady as They Roll was one of the last ones picked. Losing My Train Mojo, that's another of Joyce's big threes. Digital Killed the Analog Guy, still haven't found Trains I'm Looking For, Losing My Train Mojo, those. And then over on the other side, a bunch of the newer songs, including one I sing. I've got Another Train Coming, which is my most successful in terms of likes and positive response. The Train, which is Joyce's parody of Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. And then she voted to put on My Train Damage, and I was, yeah, sure, why not? And then the newest one, Everybody Wants to Run Some Trains. Hello, Lee. Hello, Andy March West Junction, and anybody else that's come in from the previous group. And then here were 4 songs that were the last 4 songs out. These were for, you know, we got down to like 16 songs, and then 4 had to be removed. And so one that I was really pushing for, and Joyce felt she liked the other ones better, Something Needs Repaired, the Beatles parody, You Can't Do That, which was always a very beloved little toe tapper. Her Eurythmics, Trains Are a Danger, and then Tempted. So we just wondered in the video, we were wondering, obviously, do you agree with this? Is there a song we don't have on this list that you know we've done and you go, this one belongs on there? And we just wanted to get you guys to play with us and joke around with this, and what songs would you leave on, what songs would you take off? But this is our final 12, and you're not going to hurt our feelings. You know, we're brave enough to put these out there, so we do have thick skin. I know how bad my voice sounds. So are there a couple of mine you take off, like, would you take off Train Damage and put in Something Needs Repaired? Because I was willing to do that, and Joyce said, no, leave Train Damage on. Because she likes it, but I really wanted Something Needs Repaired in that greatest hits, but she elected to put 4 of my songs, 8 of hers, 4 of mine, where I had 10 of hers and 2 of mine. And then we argued back and forth over the last ones. Hey, Tim JD, and I saw Sir Eric from Bondon Eisenbahn. I'm back, but everything's still crashing pretty bad here. So Lord knows how it's going to do. I'm depressed by it. So anyhow, we had that one. And then the other one was, Joyce and I, you've heard us talk a lot about our backlog of songs. That there are songs that we have written and we've got the music. We've even made all or some of the video, but we've never released them because either I don't want to sing it or Joyce doesn't want to sing it. Neither one of us wants to sing it, or there's other reasons that came up, and we went through these songs, like the Beatles' Help, which was a special tribute to Chris Whittingham. That was privately done for him. It's actually the very first parody song we did, but that was just for him. It's very dated, and also since Chris passed away 3 years ago, we just don't feel like it was ever, you know, the meaning to it, the joke behind it is long past, and it's no longer relevant, so we've never gone ahead and released a public version of it. Chris got a private version of just singing. We never made a video, but just singing. All right, then we got the Rolling Stones, Gimme Locos. And it's just one where Joyce doesn't think she can sing it. I actually did a version of it, including the video, and I posted it privately to see how it loaded up, and I hated it so bad. I'm not happy with the lyrics. We've got a couple of songs, It's Your Layout and Middle Age Playland, which it's just, the lyrics are too short for very long songs, so I just didn't want to make a 7-minute video for 30 seconds of lyrics. Legend of Tim Wells. That's just, it's a song we've done dedicated to Tim Wells, Family Model Railways, Island, etc., etc. The UK guys will remember Tim, what a savior he was to a lot of us at the height of COVID. But he has moved on. His photography business is booming. And we wrote a tribute to him, which he's approved of. But Joyce just can't seem to. There's a middle section she has screwed up every time we've tried to record it. And it's become a mental block. We've got YouTube Hero, which is Foreigner's Jukebox Hero. We got Sunday, Sidetrack Sunday, which was our dedication to the original 5. But that's the problem. By the time we got this written and ready to go, Jason left Sidetrack Sunday, then Heath, and then Rick. They brought in some new people. I started rewriting the lyrics, and then one of those people left. And so the original 5 are still in the main lyric. We never finished rewriting it for other people. But now it's John, Ray, and 3 new guys. And a couple of the guys we don't really know well, so we wouldn't be poking fun at them. I'm just a member of Model Train Club, another one that we've got everything done, but Joyce has a section in it she has flubbed over the 4 times we have sat down and tried to record this. Then we've got Trains My Way by the Psychedelic Furs, and it's just one I've been trying to talk Joyce into. I kind of think the lyrics are they're a little too sappy, syrupy, saccharine. They're not my best lyrics. They're okay to put out there. They're still better than couple of ones we hate. All You Need Is Trains by the Beatles, same thing. It's an easy one to sing. Joyce can sing it, but I just feel like the lyrics are a little bit meh. And then my son wrote a song based on Squeeze's Hourglass, which is currently called Model Trains, but that title could change. And then there are songs I'm currently working on, like I'm Not Like Everybody Else by the Kinks, Alone Again, or the song The Damned did in the 80s, but actually it's from Arthur Love and his band from the 60s. No Supply, the Beatles song, No Reply, Smoke in the Motor, which is Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, and Too Much 21st Century. So I know I'm wasting a lot of your time. You want to see trains run. But just because a lot of you, I don't think, watch this that far to see these things based on comments and that. So out of these songs, is there any you'd say, you know, I'd kind of like to hear that one? And then Joyce and I talked about songs that we've released that we wish we hadn't released and so forth. And yeah, there was a lot of information. I understand it wasn't going to get 300, 400, 500 views because it's a half an hour on my channel, half an hour on hers. Okay, so anyhow, that was that. So let's try to get some trains running now. My apologies, but I wanted to recap the video because a lot of people, I think, did not know what was deeper in the video and what the main part of the video was. So anyhow, what's going on here? Who's beeping me? Calling. People are calling me. Anyhow, so be that as it may. Uh-oh. Randall, what did you do? Oh, it crashed again? Well, I think I'm temporarily back. Anyhow, so I was getting ready to start the trains up, and Yeah, and this isn't even beginning to talk about some of the tech problems I was having. I actually spent more time last night because I had a couple of issues getting the trains to go. And things have not been polite with me. So guess I'm not too shocked. I'm just frustrated. It's been a hard week, technology, YouTube, everything wise. I even took a couple of days off of YouTube, so I've missed some friends' videos. Oops, wrong way, Tex. So we are running my ICE3, the original one. We are running the Austrian Railjet. I do have the Czech Railjet, but this is the one. The Czech Railjet, I just had to change its traction tires. And oh my God, was that ridiculous. You have to take the entire bogie apart to change the traction tires, which also meant that the drive shaft comes out. So I was not happy about that. I was very aggravated. And then I ran it twice and it kept opening one of my, or it kept shorting out on a piece of track over here. The last 3 loops, it finally did it without issue. And bam. Ugh. Stop opening. Let's see if that worked. That stupid double slip opens up out of the blue, just completely opens. Like when I hit the start, it changes. So yeah, hey Chris, how are you? And crashed again. YouTube says excellent connection. OBS says only about a quarter or only about 3/4 of what I'm sending is getting through. Oh my gosh. If I could get any more frustrated, I would blow a cork. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure nothing goes wrong. This is where I gotta watch this pass. Okay, that's 2 passes in a row it's made. Spin, spin, spin. Hi, Dundas James. And crash, 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 crash. Hey, Andy Dobson, how are you? I wonder if my cats are to blame for this. But everything's up here. All right, that's everybody running. I do have one of my old tin plate trains running with a old V200. And then I got that Märklin freighter running. If it crashes again, I'm going to come back in StreamYard. Well, that would be a trick because the router is upstairs in a room the cats cannot get into. I think this is an OBS Windows problem. As I said, Windows has had multiple updates, and the last time Windows did a bunch of updates, which is about this time last year, my OBS struggled with it, and then all of a sudden one day it goes. The biggest thing is what I am frustrated with a lot of things right now off camera, or even on camera right now. Trying to get the trains ready this week's been problematic. I've aggravated my back putting the grass in here. You know, we didn't get some of the comments we were hoping for on our videos. In fact, nobody's looked at Joyce's video. And we were hoping to get some good, friendly dialogue going. And if I were a little clearer thinking, after it crashed and I had to reboot, I would have just come back in, I would have come back on StreamYard, since StreamYard just compresses everything. Oh, I didn't even start the trains on the bottom. Sorry, guys. Hello, Jeff's Trains World. Welcome into my world of messed up internet. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. And Raymond Legs. Yeah, so Yeah, we've just had tons of them. I mean, literally every time I turn my computer on, there's been a Windows Explorer update, or it says Windows needs to install these updates. And when they do this many updates, it means they're fixing all the errors that their previous update created. But yeah, every time I go over 6... Allô, bonsoir, Titiari, mon ami. Ça va? You got mad cows. Well, maybe you got mad cow disease, or maybe they heard they're on the menu and they're rioting. Oh, I had all 3 of them passing there. But I think this view looks a little better with the scatter grass instead of the grass mat. You guys would have to tell me if you agree or disagree. Now, see, that's just it, Bernard. I haven't had a lot of problems with Windows 11. It's when they update, which changes things to all the programs linked to it. You know, it's one little blip on their radar, but it can screw up 20 other programs. So there goes, whoops. We blinked out for a second, but we're back. But also, I had to take a bunch of cameras off and then put them back in place, and things did get changed. Things have been changed. No, Brian, I haven't worked on the Fowler car system since last year, April. I'm probably going to start working again. I'm going to pick up a couple of things while I'm in Germany. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to the Wiesmann car system. Because to me, it's coming down to their read sensors. I think Fowler cars' read sensors are getting messed up in shipping or whatever. So if that doesn't work, I'm going to I'll go to Wiesmann. Right now, I'm trying a hybrid version. Wow, you guys are getting a ton of advertisement? I'm sorry. I am really sorry. I have got that set to minimum. They should not be dropping ads. I'm waiting for Wiesmann to bring their prices down because right now it's about a 50 to 75% increase in price to do the same thing with Fowler. Now, they do offer some other stuff, but you got to pay even more for the really fancy stuff they do. So, like a Fowler car could be anywhere from $100 to $180 American. A Wiesmann car is $150 to $350. So you pay 50, 70, anywhere from 50 to 75% more. But if it takes away the hassle, it might be worth it. I just have not been willing to drop the extra money on the cars because that takes money away from trains. But as it is right now, I'm not buying any trains, so I can put the money towards the Wiesmann cars if I want. And of course, budgeting is a word that means the same thing to everybody, but it's also my budget may be considered an extravagance to somebody else's budget. That is such a better shot with the grass there. I got to go up inside the middle, and that might be the next thing. I don't know what we all have planned this weekend. We're starting to really look ahead to the trip to Germany because we'll be in Germany 3 weeks from today. We leave less than 3 weeks. We leave the 28th, arrive on the 29th. So this would already be our second full day in Germany in 3 weeks. So the Germany trip is really not even sneaking up on us. It's stampeding on us. So, and this is just stage one. This is just the scatter grass. And then I'll go back and add weeds. Even the scatter grass, what I do is I take a stain. Not even a stain. I take a wash. Now, normally when you think of washes, it tends to be a black wash, but technically you can do a wash in a lot of colors. But I will do a dark brown wash, and when you paint it over the scatter grass, it looks like mud. It looks like beaten down, and depending on how you do it, it'll just look like hard ground with dead grass and stuff in it. Yeah, I do. I am so glad I decided to do this. I like the Class 249 Loco, and I love the Roco Märklin cars. It's totally fictional, but it's still cool looking to me. Hey, Tim JD, we'll see. It crashed once where I rebooted. It crashed, but it kept me connected, and eventually it recycled back on. If it crashes again, I will come back and I will go to StreamYard, because this is a problem with OBS in the latest Windows update. If you guys remember a year or 2 years ago, I had like 5, 6 live streams in a row where it just kept crashing, and I did a couple on StreamYard, and then all of a sudden OBS was fine, because OBS is going to have to upgrade to match what Windows did. So yeah, I'm enjoying these views where I used to just enjoy the trains. It's enhanced my love of the train views. I've got to get more trees, better trees. I am going to put a hill. That was one thing I wanted to do, but I lost my good foam cutting knife. So I ordered, it's due tomorrow, I ordered a really good foam cutter, hot foam cutter, a hot knife. Hey, Ray Bobel, how are you? Yeah, I really am having fun. Obviously, the more I'm working on the layout, the more there's potential for issues to develop in the track. But the nice thing about C-Track is a lot of the issues on regular track you won't have. The C-Track is easier to keep clean. It's easier to keep connected. So when you're putting moisture and scatter grass, it's easy to vacuum it up, and you don't get stuff lodged into areas that can screw up your signal, your electric flow. So it's just one more reason I'm really glad. Well, the cat didn't escape too far. They just left the room because I'm not leaving. And trust me, they do things to get me to leave. They lately, they've been holding it, and they go back there and drop bombs in their cat box and don't cover it up. So all of a sudden, I'll be sitting there and go, oh, God! Because they have some right feces. And if they don't cover it up, it's really bad. But if anybody wants a couple of barn cats, these are yours. I just can't ship them to the UK. Did get a couple of hate mails when I talked about my issues with the cats and how I wanted them gone. I did get a couple of random emails and comments that I deleted off the videos. You should know what you're getting into when you get a pet. I've had plenty of pets. But when I get a pet, I'm not thinking, gee, I'm going to get this pet and have to replace 2 very expensive rugs in my living room because they killed one and then they killed the second one. Actually, one of them killed it because, oh, I don't use cat boxes. I use rugs. And we've gone to the vet and we have changed cat litter 8, 9, 10 times with this one cat. And the only thing that she will do when she can't get to a rug is she is peeing on these. They're actually doggy trainer pads. They're like little diapers, and she'll use those usually. Every now and then she'll just squat in the middle of the cement floor in the basement and let go. But they were just feral too long. They're rescue cats. We support rescue animals. All our pets have been rescued, but these 2 have just, you know, when we first got them, they were cute, but they just never friended us. And now Joyce is reading books and like, oh, honey, did you know when cats have been this feral, they actually never acclimate to humans? Oh, it would have been nice if somebody told us that before we got cats that had been feral for 2 years. Ah, well. So, yeah, I just... it's amazing the difference. It really is. And the thing is, I only want to talk positively because the negative talking points would be, why didn't I do this 5 years ago? Why didn't I start doing this 5 years ago? And there were a lot of things that held me back. Part of it was I was going to get Dumb and Horse done before I worked on the Bremen side and blah, blah, blah. And the Fowler car is what holds back the Dumb and Horse side. And I finally just said I was tired of looking at brown. And once Jean Ricard and Ifo and that talked me into going with the double slips, once I went with the double slips and how smooth that made everything and how much space it saved me, where I was like, and it forced me to straighten the track out. It forced me to fix all the little inconsistencies that were okay, but they prevented me from putting scenery in because I was like, I got to fix that one of these days. And the thing is, I've had to create a work schedule. I wait till my live stream Friday, and then I start work Friday night or Saturday morning, and I will work through Monday. Every now and then I'll work till Wednesday, but that gives me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get everything cleaned up and get the next live stream going. So I'm not disrupting my live streams. You guys just get to see better video each week. It looks like the track on your green carpet. But the thing is, I have my tricks. And I don't tell people to use my tricks. I say, here's what I do. And what I do, I think most modelers would say, I waste a couple of steps. For example, I take thick PVA glue and I brush it down where I'm going to put the scatter first. I brush that out. Now, most people will paint the top brown or green, one or the other. They'll paint brown or green. Then they will put the glue down and go straight to the not scatter grass, my brain's not working. Static grass. They'll go straight to the static grass and fill it in. I put 2 layers down before I even think of static grass. Layer 1 is that mix of brown, fine turf, and ballast. Dark brown ballast, fine ballast, medium brown, fine ballast, a little bit of black ballast, and then a bunch of brown turf. and I mix that all up, and that creates a very good base. And after I do the glue, I put the brown base down on top of the brown paint. That just takes everything up a level, gives you another level of scenic detail, but it also creates a little bit of unevenness. And then I put the half and half, the half water, half PVA with a little bit of dish soap, fairy liquid as you call it in the UK. I put that over to seal the rock down. But while that is still pooling up on the ballast mix I put down, I take green scattergrass, that's your sawdust, and I just and I sprinkle it with my hand. So what happens is sometimes you get a little bit of a clump here and a little bit less there. If I get what I consider too big a clump, I'll smooth it out with my fingers, but I just go along with the scattergrass. And if you look at this effect, even though this is not static grass, this looks really good. I mean, I could say I'm not going to put static grass, and this looks natural enough, other than it's 11 lanes of Märklin seed track in the middle of it. But the grass of the terrain itself, even without static grass, looks very realistic for a short grass bit. You ever are at raspberries? Yeah, we can't. But, you know, and it's not just like those two are the only ones. There are so many of you here that do amazingly beautiful scenery. You know, Sparky scenery, Jason the Train Freak scenery. Andy's little western scenery looks very nice. It's not a competition. The only person you should be in competition with is yourself. If you're not happy with something, can you do it better? If you're not happy with something you did, can you make it better? Can you improve it? Obviously, the more you do something, the better your skills get. Or, if you're like me, my skills are deteriorating. That's kind of why I'm in a rush now to get as much of this done. My skills are deteriorating. I can't do. I could try to level out, and I'm very pleased with what I'm doing, which is why I kick myself in the butt that, why didn't you do this 5 years ago when things hadn't gotten so bad? But still, if all I do is this screen scatter and then get the streets into Delmenhorst and Bremen, and that's all I ever wind up doing, I'll be happy with that, because that's the second part. The only competition is with yourself, and then just enjoy what you have done and can do. Enjoy it. I love running my trains, and when you run trains and you want to run lots of trains, which is not in line with how the real world works with trains, you make sacrifices with scenery. I can't have this look completely realistic, because 11 lanes in the middle of the countryside, unless you're going into a yard or usually doesn't happen. Now, a friend of mine was telling me in Chicago, actually you would see this in areas in Chicago where there's 11 lanes going. Well, no, I mean, let's face it, Ray, how long has it taken me to get off the ground, but with scenery? How long has it taken me? Took me 5 years to do one little bit of doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But now that I'm doing it, I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling in the grass. And that's right, trains equals happy. So, if, you know, some people, the only option they have to run trains is a kitchen table. That's their only option. They don't have the space, they don't have whatever, and they just got to set their track up on a kitchen table or a dining room table, whatever, And that's where they run their trains, and they have to take it down and put it away the next time there's a family dinner or something. Some people, all they could do is build a simple baseboard. Some people build wonderfully elaborate and cool runnings on their floors, like IC82 did in that conservatory he had. To me, it's all the same. It's all just as beautiful. So whether I go to Miniature Wonderland or I go to my friend Rick's house and watch his O-gauge run, where he's got his scenery set up the way he's doing it, it's all the same to me. They're just as beautiful as each other. Miniature Wonderland is impressive because of the size and the work. But it's not any, well, it is prettier than most layouts you'll see, but that's not the point. You run your trains however you can, and don't be competing. All right, let's, this has been a great view. Let's go to long view. Whoops. Flip. Pete's Transport, there you go. Mine is on 2 folding tables, 4 tracks. I don't care, I like it how it is. Exactly. One of the hardest things is when somebody talks about what they like or don't like, other people assume you judge them. So I have had the comments where I talk about, oh, I hated staring at all this brown paint. And people have said, look at the size of your layout. What are you unhappy about? Well, I'm not unhappy. I realize I am blessed with more space than a lot of guys. And then there are people that have a 40-foot long layout in their attic. I'm not jealous of that, although I go, gosh, that would be cool if I could have that space. But I can't. I have this space. Other people have other spaces. Artie, my good pal Artie, that is back, finally. Artie, he cannot do a lot of what he would like to do because he lives in a rental house and the owners do not want him cutting into walls or drilling into walls and mounting things onto walls. He's, unfortunately, stuck with that situation. Wow, you guys are getting a lot of ads. What happened to Will at IC82? All right, now, I do not know Will personally. I have had exactly 11 comments on videos of his that he responded to that carried on to further conversations. But what happened to Will 82? And he has not been on Facebook in way over a year. About a year and a half ago, he posted some pictures of a vacation to, I think it was Portugal, but I could be wrong. But Will not only ran his little live stream, people would send things into Will to let him show it off on his layout, or to fix. He and his partner would fix trains. Now, if you didn't know, Will from IC82 is gay. Now, at the height of his popularity, where he had quit his consulting business, he was working as a part-time aide at a school, a teacher's aide at a school, and living off of his YouTube income. He and his partner applied to adopt a child. And they fulfilled all the qualifications, all of them. And unfortunately, they would inspect his house and tell him, oh, you got to fix this. Oh, you've got to do that. Oh, your trains that you have on these shelves could fall off and hit the kid. You got to rebuild these shelves so your train. And this particular woman, from what I understand, she was just finding every reason and giving him a list of things he had to fix in his house, rebuild the conservatory, rebuild his shelving. And then when he finally did all that and met all their check marks, she still denied Will and his partner the child. And this child wanted to live with, there might have even been 2 kids because the child, I think, had a sibling. This woman did everything she could to tear Will down until she finally was still able to deny, because she was of an anti-gay mentality. And she just destroyed him. And what happened is, this crushed him. And he disappeared off of YouTube for a little while, but he also stopped doing his repairs. And he fell way behind. And people started sending him letters like, hey, you've had my train for 2 years. Where is it? And he just got so lost and mired in depression. And then he came back and started doing videos again. But he was so overwhelmed by how far he had fallen behind and having to go find all these people's stuff. And he did get it all mailed back, but, you know, he got a lot of crap from people because, hey, you had my locomotive for 4 years. And, you know, no blame to those people. They weren't expecting their locomotive to be gone for 4 years. So, you know, I understand why it happened. It emotionally crushed him. And now he's moved on with life, but I think the YouTube and the train, he might still have the train passion, but I think the YouTube stuff just, it's too much of a dark memory. Oh, everything crashed again. Anyhow, he had a bad time in his life and he left YouTube, and now that he's straightened out, he just doesn't come back to YouTube. But it all started with trying... It all started with trying to adopt a kid and the woman finding every reason she could to refuse him because of her own uptight. Hey, Tom Couples, your granddaughter's 19th birthday. Oh, I was just looking at pictures from a live stream I did right after Kyan was born. And he's only 4.5 now, but oh my goodness. Not quite 4.5. So, yeah, I thought he had every right to adopt that child, and some of the people at the agency he was going through said they couldn't see why, but this woman had the final say. But, and the thing is, he did put that out publicly. In the middle of the crisis, he did do a video where he talked about this, so I'm not giving away family secrets. I am guessing as to why he doesn't come back. But I know he did fall way behind with everybody's stuff and getting it mailed back, and that depressed him. But he did finally get everything sent back. But he got a lot of anger and hate mail from people for that. And you can say deserve, but my sympathy kind of also says, happy birthday to Tom's granddaughter. 19th birthday. Yep, my grandson is 4 years, 5 months. And sadly, Kyan is sick today. Kyan and I didn't get to hang out yesterday because he was sick. And he was really sick this morning. That kid is just... He's prone to... I don't want to say it in any negative way. He's just prone to getting sick, unfortunately. He goes to a daycare where obviously kids spread everything, but yeah, he comes down with a lot, and then he gives it to me or his mom and dad. But I just feel bad for him because yesterday was our... Every Thursday we go to McDonald's, and it's a McDonald's that has a playland in it. Hey, Kieran from J94. But the fact that it just seems like yesterday that Kyan was just a little newborn in diapers, and now he's, you know, he's 4 years, 5 months. Yeah, that hits me. I get... I can get caught up in that. Yeah, the problem is now that I'm retired, Greg, now that I'm retired, I don't have the what we used to call teacher's immunity. Like, I have been sick a few times in the last year. Just little things to really bedridden sick for a couple of days. Joyce got really sick over Easter break, spring break. But otherwise, she's been fairly healthy this year. Hey, Sir Aaron of Aaronville, how are you? Norwich, UK, how are you doing? Well, I am having issues with the internet broadcasting, so you will see some buffering. I'm still losing 1 out of every 3 frames, according to my OBS. Yeah, that happened to Joyce last year, Greg. Joyce got sick a lot last year, including COVID twice. We went through COVID without ever getting it. But in 2024, Joyce had COVID twice. Actually, it was October of 23 we each got it. And then she got it again in 2024. And then she probably had it a third time, but she tested negative, but it was all the same symptoms. Oh, that's interesting, Aaron. Yeah, Joyce is going to be planting her corn. This is going to be her first time to grow corn in a few years. She's going to plant corn and beans this year. Normally we do tomatoes, but she's decided tomatoes are out this year, which is a shame because I love to make homemade tomato sauce. My daughter grows plenty of tomatoes to give us all the tomatoes we need to make her own tomato sauce, as well as she likes to make hers. My daughter makes so many sauces. She grows, she makes her own pumpkin sauces, and I like pumpkin pie, but I'm not big on pumpkin flavored anything else. And in the fall, my daughter, Kyan's mom, makes a lot of pumpkin cake, pumpkin pie, pumpkin flavored this, pumpkin cookies, and and she's an excellent cook, but I get pumpkined out real easy. And then I grow the berries. I grow raspberries. Everybody's running good down there. I grow raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries, but one of my blueberry bushes does not look like it survived winter. Yeah, oh yeah, we do. We have grown corn before. We have grown corn before and did very well for a few years. But yeah, we probably kept the crop in. But also I built Joyce a new vegetable garden, and I stained the wood on the outside to protect it from the elements, and it seeped into the soil, and so the corn and everything else we planted in there. She hasn't grown cukes in a couple of years, so I don't know when she'll go back to growing her cucumbers. But this year, she's got a little veggie box on the side of the house that I built her, and she usually grows 2 to 3 crops. And this year she's going for corn and beans, and she usually grows beans every year. But of course, we do crop rotation for renutrienting the soil and all that. It's amazing how much the green grass reflects the light, the lamp that I have over there, and now this is much clearer. Oh, you bought the majorette Herbie at Mueller's? Mueller's is my favorite department store in the world. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. I don't know what that was about. That's not really the internet provider. It is... Oh, you found the catalog from Siku. There's a lot of stuff from Siku I want to buy when I'm ready to start adding that type of scenery. Siku makes all kinds of beautiful tractors and industrial trucks and that. Oh, I'm that way, Chris. I send messages to companies all the time. You do realize that your ads interrupting my YouTube streams make me want to buy your product less. Hey, Sir Ian from Lehigh Valley. We just went from 34 viewers down to 17. Yeah, it's just going to take a couple of weeks. And hello, Steve Childers. Nope, just refresh. The internet is acting crazy. And of course, the ads are supposed to be personalized. And it's like, these ads do not know me. Oh, I so do not. That is not my world. Hello, Sir Ian. Actually, I never left. You just needed to refresh. Because, yes, it blipped and cut off the stream, but OBS maintained connection. So just refresh if that happens again. Es ist schön, dich zu sehen. They hit the nail on the head there. Midnight in a tart sock. Yeah, Joyce comes in about about 10 p.m. your time, Aaron, since you're in the UK. Hey, Andy81E. Yeah, my OBS and Windows are fighting. Let's put it that way. Although actually, since the last blip about 5 minutes ago, my everything has stabilized. Knock on wood, but it's the most stable it's been since I started. So Joyce comes in. I am in a little place called... Toledo, Ohio. We're about an hour south of Detroit, Michigan. If you ever look at a map of the United States and you see the mitten-shaped place, Detroit is right there at the thumb. We're right there where the hand turns into the wrist. Right there. You ever see that little mitten-shaped part of the country? Detroit is there where the thumb splits off, and then we are just south of that. Right at the wrist. Right there. Where do you come from? I come from here. Oh, no, 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 no. Not one off the wrist. No, 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 no. Maybe a few when I was younger. But Andy, I can't afford to waste it these days. And ladies and gentlemen, we just went NC-17. So, here I am showing you this amazing, the one area I did do some static grass stuff, but I'm going to come back and redo that area with the scatter grass. And then I got to go in. I actually just ordered the stuff to put the embankments in, right, that you can see. I'm pointing at my computer screen like you can see where I'm pointing at my computer screen. Right here. I'm doing this right here. I need a camera on me looking at, so when I'm pointing at my screen, it'll show you what I'm pointing at. But where you see those little wooden blocks, I bought some stuff that I can build a little bit of a slope, and then I'll put in the retaining walls. I can use either hand, even though I'm left-handed. I'm not ambidextrous, but there are some things I do equally well with either hand, including laying terrain. In fact, my left hand is so bad shaky, I do a lot of the scattergrass right-handed now, because the right hand isn't as bad. All right, let's get to another one. Woo, look at that Czech Railjet going through. And then the Austrian Railjet coming down the backside behind it. But yeah, Joyce should be here. Now, the thing is, her school is having a carnival, and Joyce avoided volunteering to work the school carnival. Normally she does, but she didn't want to work it this year. Well, Andy, all I can tell you is I had great vision until the age of 43. Wow. Shh, just don't say anything. I'm running that beautiful old Märklin V200 converted to digital. What a nice colorful picture that is. So many colors there, and that's what gets me. That's what I love about trains, the different liveries and just all the different colors there. It's my ADD just, ooh, so many colors at once. My ADD can't spaz out. It's like, oh, so many, we can all handle it. Just laying scattergrass in, but again, I do not want to sound arrogant. I certainly don't want to. But I will say, going back to my wargaming days, I know a few tricks with scattergrass because we didn't even... 30 years ago, I never heard of static grass. I don't know when static grass really came out. And I know when Miniature Wonderland started, they weren't using static grass applicators. They use it in everything now, and they're going back and redoing some areas and adding static grass. But they were scatter grass their first few years. So I don't know when static grass really started, but when I was doing wargaming terrain, it was scatter grass. And to make it look realistic, there were tricks we learned. But again, even though this is just a layer of turf and ballast with scattergrass on top of it, it's created such a great effect. It has created such a great effect. I really, more than I ever have in my life, I am just loving looking at my layout like I never have before. I've always loved watching my trains, but now I'm really enjoying looking at my layout. Yeah, this Märklin false flag, I love it. The all black with just red highlights for the Märklin name and maybe a little bit of white. Yeah, I'm loving it. Well, we went about 10 minutes, but now things have crashed again. Yeah, I've been collecting it, but I've been using it. I'm running low on my rations again. I'm going to have to go out and buy a bunch more. I'm just hoping the hobby stores have gotten it in stock again. I think I need to go to Ormondy's, but I can't go tomorrow. I mean, I could go by myself because Joyce has got a bunch of stuff to do in the morning. But I don't like to do those 2.5 hour car rides by myself. Not to mention I'd be left unsupervised, and that's never a good thing. Because the funny thing is, there's two locals there, and Joyce says the next time I go to Ormondy, she figures I'm buying one of them. And I was like, well, I wasn't planning on it, but if you're giving me permission... Well, Grant Bassett, long time no see. Hope you're well, Sir Grant. Yeah, I thought you guys might like. I figured Jean Ricard would like seeing the tin plates with the V200 running around, because I have been in a very modern mood lately. The last 3 live streams, I have been running all my modern stuff. But like on my layout today, in real life, the IC3 is one of my favorite trains. The Czech and Austrian Railjets are my favorite trains. But right now, all 6 trains I'm running are just equally gorgeous to me right now. The little red diesel commuter. Yes, 3 weeks from today, we will be in Germany. 3 weeks from Wednesday, this past Wednesday, 3 weeks from this past Wednesday, we take off. We arrive Thursday morning. That's if the American, I can't even talk about it, goes into politics. Once we get into where the European air traffic controllers guide us, I'll relax as much as I can relax on a plane. Yeah, everything here is saying I've had a major collapse. YouTube is, because yeah, I can't get mine to come on live. Every time I try to get it live, it says you're behind. Well, that one worked this time. Now we're temporarily back with a good connection. Yeah. Alles in Ordnung. Yeah, something is... YouTube is... And I think that's why we're having trouble. Something's going on with Windows, YouTube, and OBS. But all of a sudden, where I've got ads banned, YouTube is throwing them in. YouTube is cramming advertisements on my live stream, even though I have the setting for no no interruption of my live stream. YouTube just, well, you signed this, which means we could change what we want. You can't do anything about it. And all of a sudden they're throwing, like I was rewatching one of my own videos, and my videos on my settings are, the videos on my settings are, you could skip them. And they forced me to watch 2 minutes of commercials because they would not let me skip. Aaronville Miniature Wonderland, you can seriously have in 3 to 6 hours, you will see everything. It's just how in-depth you want to see everything. I've gone through and done a 2-hour live stream for Miniature Wonderland where I showed everything, but I did a lot of things really quickly. Like I only spent 10 minutes in Scandinavia. But you can easily do Miniature Wonderland in a nice 3-4 hour casual visit. Because whether you spend a day there, 3 days locked inside, when you leave, you'll want to go back. I've been to Miniature Wonderland 6 times. It's going to be 7 in a month. Less than a month. It's going to be 7 in, well, yeah, a month. Yeah, I've got them flying. I probably should slow them back down now. They're both running at about 60% speed. But hey, they are high-speed trains, right? High speed. Yes, you could spend hours. The last time I went with my friend Heinz, not the last time I went, but the last time my friend Heinz and I went together, his second wife and Joyce and we all went. Yeah, I toured the entire place for like 4 hours. He stayed at the airport the entire time. He just looked at a few things going in until he got to the airport, then he stopped and just waited. And when we got there, he looked at us like, "Oh, Tony, done already?" Like, yeah. So they roll the red carpet out for me. No, they don't roll the red carpet out for me. Going there 7 times in a 23-year period is nothing. They got people that come in every weekend. And I'm not talking workers, just people who go visit. It's something they do. They'll go for a couple hours every Saturday morning. I know some people in Hamburg. And the guy for several years was like, I go there every Saturday morning. Yeah, Jean Ricard. Yep. I mean, I watch every video and short Miniature Wonderland puts out. Miniature Wonderland is a place that if you find yourself on the European continent and you like model trains, you got to get your butt there. There's nothing like it in the world. Not Northlands. And I've been to the big ones in Germany. I've been to the Märklin. I've been to the Traumwerk in Porsche. And they're each different and they're each gorgeous and worth a visit. But Miniature Wonderland is up here and everybody else is down here. Size, the tech. Because, uh-oh. There we go. The size, the tech, the quality. It's just, all I can tell you is I would talk about with my students like, oh, it's just a bunch of stupid model trains. And then I took them a couple of times to Miniature Wonderland, and from, oh, it's just a bunch of stupid model trains to, oh, Mr. Dodge, do we have to leave now? We didn't go over there and see that stuff yet. Yeah, it's just, it's a, and the thing is, you don't have to be into model trains. It's just an epic place to go. And it's relatively inexpensive. It's about, well, I forget what Joyce and I paid. I think it starts at about $15. And then depending on what you want to do, you can pay more. Knock it off. All right, hey guys, I hope you'll get this. I am going to shut down and come back on StreamYard. I'm going to shut down and come back on StreamYard. I'm tired of fighting everything with the computer and seeing the crashes. I will be right back, 5 minutes. I'm just going to shut down and come back on StreamYard. So we're going to go to part 3.